Islamabolic. We return with more to discuss with you. Presently, important talks with the Dark Cabal's leaders are being held at various locations around your globe. These secret meetings pave the way for the transition of several major governments. Concurrently, those who study the changing conditions of your world's economy sense that an economic disaster, akin to that of September 2008, could happen this fall. These dire warnings have had unsettling effects on the world's major stock, bond, and commodity boards, especially since the principal banks have failed to recover from the tumultuous time. Indeed, the amount of unreported debt has risen 100-fold or more. These predicaments haunt the Dark Cabal's power structures, and no solution seems possible other than a direct transfer of power to our Earth allies. Yet the Dark is hesitant to give up and face the consequences offered to them by the Light. This is the urgent impasse we are now fully engaged in. A transfer of power needs to be made, and made swiftly by the Dark. We enter these negotiations knowing full well what is expected of us. Not only has the Dark overstayed its time in power, but it remains arrogant to the point of demanding to be exempt from the consequences of its vile actions. Across the planet, poverty and disease is spreading. The scrabble for existence for the vast majority of your world population has deepened in the past decade, despite the availability of a wealth so vast that it could easily resolve these blights. Again, not only are the Dark capitalists sitting on this huge abundance, but they are also preventing the distribution of another enormous fund belonging to the Earth allies. All this must be put right immediately, which is why we initiated the present talks with the Dark. We do not wish to be seen by you as anything other than a beneficent presence, whose purpose is to ensure that the necessary changes happen in your government and in your global economy. Our concern is that a minority of your populace fervently believes in the concept of evil invaders from outer space. This fiction has been hammered home by your mass entertainment media since the late 1930s. There exists a more direct means to ensure the Dark's full compliance to heavens and our demands, as we possess the technology to easily police these agreements. Naturally, we do not wish to show our hand until such is required. In its secret inventory, the Dark has several types of technology that were kept deliberately primitive by their former off-world allies. We became privy to this information once these former Dark allies opted to join the Light back in 1995. Archangel Michael at that time gave us access to a number of sacred decrees that were put into effect throughout this galaxy in 1995. These were subsequently honored by the Dark Galactic creator, Anchara, leading to the Galactic Treaty between the former Anchara Alliance and the Galactic Federation of Light. From this treaty surfaced a huge amount of intel concerning what had been filtered down by the Dark to your various secret governments, and all of it is very advanced compared to what is in use in your public arena. However, it is also very primitive compared to ours, and this gives us an advantage we wish to use, with Heaven's permission. The present course we are on is reaching a point where our intervention is required. But first, some backstory. Galactic Federation personnel have been intervening in your affairs for over 13 millennia, making anti-interventionist qualms from many quarters in your society largely irrelevant. What gives us pause is the above-mentioned propaganda that is swallowed whole by many of you. In contrast, consider the context you see playing out around you. A huge transformation of who you are is manifestly underway and has been initiated by Heaven in order to return you to full consciousness. At her behest, we too have come to assist in carrying out the divine will. Those who oppose the divine will are the Dark ones who control many of your governments, your economy, and your major philosophies. Their dark secret orders use vast wealth and power to manipulate your beliefs and create societies that demand your compliance. In opposition to this are the light-oriented groups that we support. The crucial step now before us is to effect a successful transfer of power. The Anunnaki, as advisors to us since 1995 on matters concerning the Dark Kabbalists, recommend several courses of action. The Kabbalists disregarded the Anunnaki's exhortation in 1995 to join the light, as this rogue group felt this was not in their best interests. Heaven specifically requested that the Anunnaki not annihilate them in favor of gentler ways of transformation. Since then, under Heaven's guidance, we have used various approaches to bring these recalcitrant ones around, but, as you can see, to no avail. They threaten to provoke panic among you if we unveil our craft, by using the old poppycock ploy of invaders from space. Having exhausted all diplomatic avenues, Heaven has approved our use of more direct creative solutions which we intend to employ as soon as the present talks are concluded. The circumstances surrounding this first contact have been unique and difficult since its inception in the early 1990s. Normally, we allow a science and exploration fleet to enter into a first contact mode only if a number of preconditions are met. When the Syrian Regional Galactic Federation Council ordered a first contact with you, none of these preconditions were extant. In fact, a majority of star nations opposed such an operation, and it was Heaven's desires that overruled the Council's decision. The resulting first contact team was therefore to be an amalgam of the original 50 human star nations that colonized Lemuria some 900,000 years ago. This was a symbolic gesture decreed by Heaven and followed by us. Many of the star nations to be used on this mission were not even current members of the appropriate Galactic Federation Regional Council. We find ourselves, therefore, in a strange predicament comprising several conflicting strands. On one hand, Heaven daily decrees your freedom and sovereignty, while those in power have no qualms about killing every one of you in order to stay in power. On the other hand, we are mandated to carry out Heaven's decrees, and this appears to necessitate the forceful ouster of the dark beings. Heaven assures us that doing so is possible, necessary, and must be done very, very soon. And then there is the deep, well-orchestrated xenophobia within you that needs clearing. Our own operatives and your cousins in Agartha and Earth tell us that as long as such a procedure is done as a sacred deliverance, it will be well received by you. A new plan to unseat the dark is needed, and we have just the solution. Technology can be used to dupe and control a populace, or it can be used to greatly enhance the general well-being of all. Your society clearly illustrates this dichotomy as it reaches a major collapse point. The moment has come when you either change direction and survive, or begin a rapid slide toward extinction. You possess a secret technology that can shift your world overnight, but those who control you will not allow it to be used for the good. Heaven, however, decrees otherwise. Therefore, it is up to us to remove those bent on preventing your survival, and a way to do this is ready and waiting. Be prepared to awaken one morning quite soon to discover that something wonderful has happened. Today, we reviewed the recent past and considered some of the complexities of this mission. This mission is unique and challenging, but destined to be a great success. You are in full throttle mode toward full consciousness and a reunion with your inner Earth cousins and space family. A glorious future is beginning. Know, dear ones, in your heart of hearts that the countless supply and never-ending prosperity of Heaven are indeed yours. So be it. Salamat Gajan. Salamatja. Syrian for everyone. And be enjoy.